Colonial Group International Global
Turn it down a bit.
Financial Group, Game Time, and Fit for Life.
Headphones.
Now
There
let's
you
go
go.
live with Ian Rollins and Bill Winston.
And good afternoon. Welcome to this special edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio. As you know, we're on every Monday afternoon, but due to certain things, we were unable to go on this Monday, so we moved the show to this Thursday. Join me with my wingman, Skipper to be, Mr. Earl Baston, St. George's. Can you believe that?
Skipper to be.
For Somerset.
Yeah, I'm Skipper Somerset. Might not like the results.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
At least you're honest.
You might not like the results. my luck will work in your favor anyway.
That's true too. You're right. You're right. But you're a good sportsman, so you'll be a good man, and you make sure that we win. Continue to win.
Well, I don't know about that, but I declare after 1 and declare after 3.
Oh, you want to game?
I'm not talking about o'clock. I'm talking runs on the board.
Oh, I thought it was about o'clock.
No.
1 run and 3 runs.
1 run and 3 runs. Man.
Yo, you won't cut my jaw within 45 minutes.
Hey, been by any means necessary. Man.
I understood, sir.
Yeah.
Understood. All is well.
All is well.
Right. Well, today we have some special guests coming in the studio, but no strangers. Mr. Kelvin Blankendale, and of course the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade, and your good friend, Mr. Tariq. Let's get his last name.
Smith.
Thank you, Tariq Smith.
He don't want to be my good friend.
He doesn't?
No, not today.
Just give me enlighten me what happened.
But actually, you know what? He'll wanna come in, and he won't want to talk about Saturday night. He'll want to talk about Sunday.
Well, I will talk about Saturday. Just let me refresh my memory. I wasn't here for Saturday night.
Wow. He talked about he had his Jordan sneakers.
Uh-huh.
We had Jordan himself.
Oh.
So I had a surprise.
He dreamed.
I told him I had a surprise.
But you had the reality.
Yeah, I told him I had a surprise. We had Chris Crumpler.
Oh, mercy. Oh, mercy.
So poor Tariq was trying everything in his power to muscle him off the ball.
Right.
Oh boy. We had layups. We almost had a dunk. Oh my gracious. We had jump shots. They even went to the referee and said, is what he doing legal?
So his Jordan
sneakers could not match the Jordan player himself.
The athlete himself.
Yeah.
So has he said, let me get into reality and learn the game of basketball from Mr. Jordan?
No.
I mean, netball.
Well, see, Mr. Smith made a valiant effort to help his team. We managed the clock in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lead, I think, about 8. We won by 3 because all we were doing was managing the clock.
Oh.
We weren't about scoring anymore. Right. It was just a matter of,
as they say, melt the clock.
Yeah. And once we got it down to 2 minutes, and they still were down by 5, we knew, it's easy. It's easy to manage from here. So, we had the right players on the court at the time. And the minute that buzzer hit, my boy was sprawled out. The team went over and all dropped jerseys and BOs and everything.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So you had to watch them.
Oh yeah. And he's returning with them today.
Oh,
yeah. He says he pays his bets.
He pays his bet. He watched
we'll see.
Uniforms.
1:30. We'll see you.
Is he looking for revenge come next year?
He won't win the revenge.
No.
He'll have to bring Shaquille. Not Shaquille's shoes.
Yeah, Shaquille or Kobe Bryant's shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must have been exciting, though.
Well, I think, and was a lot of people there, and I think they really enjoyed the night. You had a lot of people playing that never played netball before. The rules were new, to them. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of people enjoying themselves, getting out of their normal life. Doing something different. The way they introduced the teams, came out, star-studded and all.
Oh, nice.
It was really, really nice. It was laid out nice. It was a good night for everyone. Halftime, they had a shooting competition. We didn't see much of that because we were trying to catch ourselves outside in the cool breeze.
Trying to recover.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, it was a very entertaining night. Got a chance to be on the court, have some fun, away from the hustle and bustle of trying to capture so much stuff. In the fourth quarter, I managed to get some video of the game. couple of pictures of the game. So
Nice.
it all works out. It all works out.
Well, kudos to the Bermuda Netball Association putting this event on. I think
Yeah.
it's the second or third
Second
year.
one. Second
right?
one.
So hopefully we'll raise the bar again come next year, the third year. Roddigon said he's going to participate.
Yeah.
Next year.
Very good turnout.
I think we're going to have Tariq Smith and the president join us today on the phone.
Tariq better come.
Tariq better come.
Yeah.
He's got to pay his debt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to pay his
Close in hand.
debt. So the president of the Netball Association, Kamala Evans, will join us via phone today.
Okay.
And I'm sure she'll give her insight on Tariq's team and the performance. I was laughing.
or they lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. Before we go to a commercial break, just want to share what we did overseas. We went to the New York Giants to see the Giants and the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling the fellas that I was with, I said, look, just want to let you know that I know a bit about New Orleans people. They follow the Saints. They are diehard people, diehard fans that follow the Saints around all of the U.S. So we were in New York Friday night having dinner. I see these people with Saints jerseys. I said, see, it started. Saturday, see them again. Different people. So we drive to New Jersey because it's at the Meadowlands, right? 30-minute drive. Get there, go to the game, get to the hotel, check in. All Saints people. Make a long story short, right? Though the Saints won, the Saints fans outdid the Giants fans.
Who won? Saints?
Saints
won?
Giants.
Oh, okay.
33 to 17, I think it was 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they were just there. They're just who that, excuse me, who that, and they just went buck wild, enjoying it. The Giants have a lot of work to do. It's time for Eli Manning to retire or say, trade me, because he's been there for more than 10 plus years. The offensive line needs some work. They've got the talent. They've got the running back. They've got probably the best wide receiver, Odell Beckham. Great.
This is the coach's first year, right?
Yeah, Shepard.
Yeah.
Sherman. I'm sorry. Sherman. He's supposed to be a good offensive coordinator, right? Yes, it takes time to gel, but when you're playing in New York, big media city like New York,
well,
you're 1-3.
When you said you was going to the game, I was looking at it last week, Monday, and they were talking about, even in New York, they were talking about, it's time we give people time. It is time New York changes that.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of the medias were talking about that.
Okay.
It's time we started giving people an opportunity to make a name for themselves instead of just saying, you're not as good as the last guy, get out.
And they're known for that.
Yeah.
In all the sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In all the sports.
Yeah. So I think he'll be given
ample
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
As long as things don't carry on the same way. When I say that, okay, if he wins 5 games this year, if he wins 7 games next year, he'll be on for another year. And then they'll look for improvement the following year.
Right.
If nothing improves, then you look to make changes. Because if you keep changing every year, remember, new coaches bring in new schemes. That means the players have to learn a new scheme all over again.
No, you're right.
And if it don't suit, like say you draft a running back that can only run to his right, but then you bring in a coach that designs runs to the left side, you're going to the guy. You negated everything that you picked this guy for.
Right.
He can run right and up the middle. So all your players are left and up the middle. So anything up the middle is straight.
Right.
But to the right, oh my goodness, to the left, he's going to struggle.
So, and you're right. Even if you brought in another running back, he's got to learn their system.
Thank you. Same thing with a quarterback. Some quarterbacks don't mind blind side because they have that visual on the blind side. Yeah. Some, after them hit once or twice, don't like it. So they tend to stand square and only change when they're going to throw the ball.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So if everything's going to the weaker side of the quarterback, that means he's going to be facing that side the whole time. He's left himself open on his strong side. You know what I mean? So all of that, like people will not believe a playbook when it comes to the NFL or professional sports.
It's so technical.
When you see guys sitting on the bench and the coaches there got a piece of paper with, a picture showing you where you was at this point, turn it over where you was at this point,
where you're supposed to be.
And it's unbelievable.
And nowadays they take the iPads, right? And they can see the replay.
Right.
The players can see the replay right after.
Yeah.
As opposed to waiting to go to the dressing room at halftime.
Yeah.
Or after the game.
Yeah.
Right?
So all of that, Technology has helped them a lot,
Yeah.
but it's also some players have to be like, okay, look at what do you mean, Roger? Your running back years ago,
Roger Craig.
Roger Craig.
Yeah.
Strong run up the middle.
Yeah. High stepper.
Right.
Yeah.
When he got on the outside, he couldn't manage himself.
You're right.
Yeah, he was strong running straight.
Yeah.
Once he had to go sideways,
Side to side.
yeah, people were clipping his back of his heel, and
Yeah.
So what the 49ers do? Run to this guy's strength, give him the ball up the middle,
Yeah.
open a hole, go through it.
Right, so they did.
Yeah, and they benefited because once he got the defense to collapse, running up the middle, Montana or Young was able to throw the ball over the top.
Yeah. Or why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you got to play to the guy's strength. A lot of guys tend to go to colleges because the coach suits what they like.
Well, that's true.
And then the coach either gets fired or leaves, and you're stuck there because you've already signed.
Yeah.
If not, if you move, you have to wait a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of that plays into the professional. If you go in as a top prospect in college, but it don't suit you the way the team's playing, maybe you could drop from number 1 to number 101.
Yeah.
In that position.
And it's funny since you mentioned that. They were saying just the other day that college players over the last 2 or 3 years, the reason why they're gelling so fast now, as opposed to 10 years, 15 years ago, a lot of college systems are NFL systems.
Coaches are getting back on.
Yeah.
A lot of the coaches are going back down.
And that helps. That helps them.
You know why? They're looking at it like this. In the NFL, it's demanding. In college, it's consistent. Because you're still developing players. Although you're down to win, you're developing players. And most coaches get the satisfaction of developing somebody that goes on to become a professional, as opposed to getting a professional who's got a $100 million contract and you're trying to manage his life.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look at how much trouble. What's the wide receiver that shot himself in the leg from New York?
Plaxico Boris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much trouble he was getting himself in off the field.
Yeah.
On the field, he was magic. Off the field, he was a nightmare.
Yeah.
How do you, as a coach, handle that?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Because they're an adult and you expect them to deliver.
Yeah.
As a professional.
Yeah.
They know what to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing Tyrell Owens.
Terrell.
On the field, magic. Off the field late in his career, oh my God. He's better off bringing him in and put him out Maui for the week. And then just release him on Sunday morning, fly him to the game and bring him back. But the reality is you have some guys that can't manage themselves outside of the sport.
Yeah. And that's why the other day he was thinking about Terrell. Didn't he say he wanted to play in the CFL, Canadian Football League, at 44 years old?
Yeah.
Not kicker, but a wide receiver. Somebody take a hit on him, man.
He'd be like the boy, Don Beebe. Remember the 3 concussions in 3 games? The wide receiver for the Baltimore Buffalo Bills. Remember the short guy?
Oh, yeah. Beebe. Yeah.
His quarterback hung him out to dry just about every week. His run down the line, the shortest guy on the field.
No.
And guys just line him up. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Oh, God, it's this time already. Let's take our first commercial break. But before I go, yes, as a Liverpool fan, I'm a staunch Liverpool fan, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Yes, we lost last night. 1-0 to Napoli in the Championship League, second leg of it.
Oh, okay.
Napoli scored in the 91st minute.
It was at Anfield?
No. It was
okay.
in Italy. And so the excuses, we didn't play that well. I didn't see it. Couldn't find it. But that's right. But
so everybody's got 3 points now, or you're just played 2 games, right?
Yeah, 3. Napoli has 3. I think they have 3. I think everybody else has 3 points. I'll make sure.
Who else is in that group? Because you played your first game. You won your first game.
Yeah, we played PSG, but PSG won the day before.
Okay, so everybody's got 3. Everybody's got 3 points.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. So.
Or did Napoli win the first game?
That's why I'm about to make sure. I'm gonna check on that, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, I just want to give credit. I'm one guess that I praise us when we win. And we have to praise us and talk about when we lose. You have to do that. So it has to be done.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's take our first commercial break, and soon after I'll guests should be joining us in the studio. So I've got Cal Blakendale or Mr. Mark Wade, the BFA president, will be joining us first. 1 to 2. We'll take a break and we'll be back after this.
Talk Radio. Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Thursday, October 4th. The time is 12:36 in that area. Joining us now is the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade. Mr. Wade, in a matter of 8 days, we'll be suiting up at the National Sports Center for the second match in the Nations League. How are things going?
Hey, first of all, good afternoon to everyone. In terms of the match, the preparation is going fairly well. We have, certainly been through all of our pre-match protocols and getting things ready for the National Sports Center, logistics, transportation, hotels, etc., etc., etc. Big match for us. Nations League is a whole new kettle of fish. We have a CONCACAF team hopefully coming down to film the match. So we're today with Sabir's working through everything that is required to have them come down to do that. It's huge. Nations League is huge. It's a long time coming. Our first match to host, so we want to make sure that the fans enjoy the experience.
The CONCACAF president was in Bahamas, I believe, over the weekend, and he said he's looking to support all the smaller nations of CONCACAF. Can you enlighten us on what are some of the things he's been discussing with you guys to go along? Because Nations Cup, part of just that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of the Nations League was certainly to level out the amount of matches that teams play. Your smaller nations, certainly with the smaller budgets, would enter the World Cup, play 2 matches, maybe 3, and that's it. Maybe enter the Caribbean Cup, play another 2 matches, 3 matches, and then it was over. In comparison to the bigger nations like the U.S., Mexico, who would play maybe 20 matches between friendlies and competition. So, the first selling point for the Nations League was that you would get a guaranteed number of matches over a 4-year period. The minimum, I believe, is 12. Is the minimum. but certainly you can play a lot more. So for the developing nations and smaller nations, that's that's huge. All the players and coaches in Bermuda, first thing they talked about was not having enough matches, not being able to bring the team together enough times. So the Nations League fixes that big time for us and leaves a little window for friendly matches in June and or July if we can put this together. So ticks all the boxes for us. I know the boys are guarded about their first match and looking forward to get on the pitch for Friday.
I was going to ask about that. Obviously, the result in the first match against Aruba didn't go our way. Both teams coming in off of defeats. How important is it for the Bermuda public to support this team and give it a good push to get a good result?
It's always huge. I mean, really, having Bermuda support the team is something that we need for any match, any and every match, whether it's competition or friendly. The Nations League is another step up for us, and the boys want to perform in front of the home crowd, and they want to show them what they're capable of. So we're looking to have a bumper crowd at our match next week, and and the matches going forward. I know there's a lot more people who had tuned in on online to see the match. So we need those same numbers to be bumps in the seat, so to speak, up at the National Sports Center.
The association isn't that active on a regular basis. Now you got these games coming up. How do you guys change gears? Because now you have to be more active, more regular, more. Your timelines have to be met. You have to. It becomes more of a tedious job now, doesn't it?
It's labor intensive.
Mm-hmm.
In the as far as the administrative side of it, there's lots of deadlines to meet. Teams have to be selected. Your provisional teams have to be sent in. There's a lot of marketing surrounding it as well. So it's the team in the office do well in reacting to change and reacting to deadlines. So they've stepped up. I'm going to sneak it out now. We're going to have a kit launch. So we have a new kit. So we'll have a kit launch hopefully next week. We'll have a kit launch next week.
What's the question?
I don't know whether you light blue and dark blue. Even though I'm a little bit partial to light blue and dark blue myself, but no. So we'll have new uniforms for the public to come on and support the team. So look out for that coming soon. We're hopefully it'll be an exciting kit launch for us. So it's a lot going on. Quite a bit.
Team. When will we know the team?
As soon as you hear a coach and the technical director give it to me, I will give it to the general public.
Do you kind of push the issue because
always? Well, it's. I mean, yes, I always pushing the issue. I'm always trying to get the team earlier than we do, but there are so many moving pieces to team selection as we have so many who are overseas. So between college, which is huge, we're talking about getting players out of class, and in this match, they are also in season college players, and if they're young enough, the prep school players are in season, so that becomes difficult. Teams who are professional players, most of their teams take a break during the international window, but then there's a bunch who do not.
Right.
So that's even, that's a lot of discussion. We're certainly still at the point, we haven't turned the corner yet, we're still at the point of discussing with players, is it a good time for you? What's your situation at your club? So we haven't gotten to the point of a US that says, excuse me, Hosek is coming. Work it out.
Right.
We're not there. You know what I mean? If Tiny Bermuda's not at that point. We may get to that point, and maybe that's where we need to go. But right now, there's a lot of moving pieces. So getting the team is always going to be, and even the local players who are working, and we want to, give them sufficient rest. So we've asked for the local players to be off the last 3 days of the week. So get them sufficient rest, training, get the team together. those sort of things. So all of those moving pieces, getting all those responses, and then settling on a team takes quite a bit of coordination. And I know that, between the office and the team manager, they're probably about this close, and we should be able to release a team
Very soon as next week Thursday.
no, leave it for next week Thursday.
Well, you have another challenge coming up because one of the games fall right when the under-20s are to be played. Not this match, but the next match.
November, yes.
Must be a challenge because the coach is going to want to use, or would like to use, some of those players this game around. And if they shine well, then what happens?
I'm not going to speak for the coaching staff. I suggest you get the coaching staff in and have a chat as well with the technical development director about, how they see those two tournaments. What's the priority, those sort of things. They will be able to address that. I stay well clear of those type of conversations, and I allow them to, set their own goals. So.
Last time we spoke on this was about 2 months ago, right? Just announcing about the tournament, and you were joining us in the studio. Do the Bermuda public understand and realize how important this tournament is for Bermuda? Because especially on the senior level, yes, we understand our youth development, and we've been putting emphasis there for a few years now. But more so, the senior level, this is an opportunity to take us to the next phase of their game, and just for Bermuda itself. Do Bermudans understand how important it is, and including the players?
I'm not sure that everyone understands how important it is. I think it's getting there, because as you see more and more marketing and understanding how huge this really is, I think that's going to take some time in understanding how big it really is for us as a region to move away from the traditional World Cup qualifying to a Nations League, and to know that Bermuda started the Nation League before UEFA.
Right.
And these are the only two confederations that are running a Nations League. And others are looking at it and saying maybe that's what we need to do. So, big, yes, and we're going to try and get the message out there a little bit more so that people, understand how huge it really is.
So to get the message out there, how you getting that out? Aside from social media?
Social media, definitely, which we found to be very, very successful. Certainly, radio shows like this, the players will have some commitments. You don't know yet, but they'll have some commitments. I'm taking a player with me tomorrow to a school.
Okay.
So we're trying to do some of those sort of things. The kit launch is going to be a big part of it as well in terms of getting the matches out. So it's multiple pronged attack. And again, I'll suggest that you have our chairman of marketing and talk to him about what other plans that his team have come up with.
Sure. That's it. We're getting back to what Earl was saying. Once a team is selecting things of that sort, will you have standby players?
Oh yes.
All right.
Oh yes. There's always at least 3 standby players in case of injury, etc. So we may name the team on Monday, and then something happens in training, so we'll have to bring another player in. So there's always standby players, every age group, male and female. Always.
Regarding the new football kit, is this going to be a press conference for this, or is it just going to be a press release?
It's going to be a kit launch that I can't tell you about right now. It's a secret.
I'm not asking.
It's a secret.
What I want to see. I'm just asking, is it a
secret.
Is it a release, or is it going to be a press conference?
It's a secret.
It can't be a secret. The strip's already out.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That is not the strip. That is not the strip.
That's not the strip.
No, sir. That is someone's design. I've seen it. Quite nice, actually, but that's not the kit.
Well, it's not like doing off the I can't come. Change our colors, change our look. Telling you. No.
But overall, though, as you're leading up, you had mentioned earlier things are coming together, and that's important. And coordinating something like this is not an easy task. Things that go on behind the scenes on any major sporting project, people just don't realize the work that goes on. And this is like something big for us, for Bermuda, especially in football. If you compare it with the America's Cup we had last year, the ITU in April of this year, Football is now taking that stance. I'm talking from an international perspective.
True.
This is real important for Bermuda.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have, fortunately, or maybe not so fortunate, but more in terms of planning, we have individuals who operate at that level in the international stage. So we have Dave Sabur, we have Shabita Parson, we have Troy Lewis, who all operate at that level. David has done quite a bit of work in the World Cup,
right.
And Shaquita and Troy Lewis have done quite a bit of work in the region between Caribbean and CONCACAF as match commissioner, venue managers,
right.
etc. So they bring that expertise to us, and they're able to crack the whip on those of us who are the support staff to make sure that the event that we actually have is at the highest standard.
When you guys have because on game days you see a lot of people walking around with timeline sheets. I think what you could do possibly is announce what time the team comes out to warm up, because that would get people in the seats early, get to see that. But if you don't know, you know Bermudians, what time the game starts? 7? All right, 5 to 7. I'm at the gate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you kind of you miss that whole atmosphere kind of thing. And I mean, any player will want to see stands full when they come out to warm up, and even a bigger roar. And so just kind of release not every detail, but especially things that can help lift the players and the crowd.
Actually, I like that idea. And when I leave here, I will tell David Sabir that's about me.
Okay.
So the public will know what time the warm up starts. They will know what time the walk-ons and protocols happen, and they will know what time kickoff will be. Because sometimes kickoff is 5 minutes later if it's live television.
Right.
This time around, it shouldn't be live. Well, I don't know.
They haven't picked the game yet, have they?
No, they haven't picked the game. So yes, that's a fantastic idea. I like that. Yeah, and we'll do that.
Good. Because I mean, every little bit helps to help get people in the stands early, get that rallying cry early.
Yeah, sure. Every player would be fantastic if there is a huge roar as the team runs out to warm up. I get it.
Right.
And that's a perfect idea. And while I'm here, I just remembered that I must say that we are looking for volunteers. Mr. Anthony Francis is our volunteer coordinator, and we're looking for volunteers.
You should have just said you have a coordinator.
Yeah.
You should have said. Francis, take it easy.
He's gonna crack the referee whip for our volunteers. We need volunteers for team liaison, managing the VIP area. We actually have stretcher bearers. We have roving first aiders that have to be in the stands. We have liaison for all our international officials. So we need a liaison for referee, assessor, match commissioner, etc. We need a liaison for the press. So we have quite a few areas where we need some volunteers, and it gives people a fantastic experience in event management. So that's my little plug for volunteers.
And that's a very important part of it.
Yes, absolutely.
There was a lot of talk about the result. People everywhere you go, we play football.
Sure.
Yeah. How do we help pick the players up?
Well, first I think the players, they played the game, so they're not naive. They played the game. They understand what happened during the game, and the coaching staff have had their debriefs on players. Each player has all his stats from the match, because we do have a company that we get services from, where they produce match stats for every player. How much ground they covered, how many passes they completed,
nice,
average position on the pitch, all these sort of things. So they've been through that process remotely. So the coaching staff have done a pretty good job in terms of being able to speak to players remotely. The other thing is also understanding that the landscape in international football is changing, in that countries are taking steps to strengthen their team. While you first think, well, we never heard of a rule before playing football, But then you also have to remember that Aruba is a Dutch country, and they're able to get players from Holland. And that's happening right throughout the region. So the French colonists are able to do the same thing. We saw that with French Guyana when they came to Bermuda and we beat them, defeated them 2-1. Then we got down to what French Guyana. There were different players in the team. We have been drafted in from France. So these are the things that are also happening in the region. This is how huge the Nation League is.
We'll face that challenge on next week Friday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're conscious of now saying, okay, who was your grandma?
Yeah.
Where did she live? Well, you know what? You are eligible to play.
So Bermuda's going to take that opportunity one day, you think?
We will take that. We have done that on the female level
already.
Right. So we'll take that opportunity as well with the men. Some of the challenges are getting passports. Bermuda's a small country and you can only have so many.
Right.
So we have to work our way through it, but it's another area that we need to get into too.
So, example, like you're this Mark Wade, and I live in England, so I can play.
Technically.
Got it.
So, but we have to kind of transgress our way through it, because the regulations are pretty stringent.
Right.
Both FIFA regulations and certainly Bermuda's own immigration regulations. So, yeah, but. For me, I think these boys have been at it for a long time. Some of them since they were 13. So they've faced disappointment before, and through their experiences, they'll know how to pick themselves up and move on.
Cool. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up? Before we go to news in the next 4 minutes?
Only that let's have you guys at the game. Let's have everybody out. Let's support our boys. Because this is the qualifiers for the Nation League. It's huge. You go on any television show in the next week during the FIFA window, you will see CONCACAF Nations League, and we're a part of it.
Okay.
Ticket sales.
That's what I was saying.
Tickets are on sale already.
Okay, I'll do with it.
PTix.bm and at the VFA office. We have certainly we have VIP packages, and then we also have the regular ticket sales as well.
Deadline?
No, we'll do the same thing we've done previously. Where tickets are on sale up until halftime for the match, but they'll be at the BFA office. You cannot buy tickets at the gate.
Okay.
This is the international protocols.
What time does PTix cut off?
Just let me repeat it again. These are international protocols. There will be no tickets being sold at the gate. Get your tickets beforehand. The PTix, I'm not sure the PTix cut off. I have to get that for you. But that will be probably sometime during the morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Good stuff. So once this game is over, you will advertise the next one soon after, or you'll wait to?
We're advertising right now. It's November the 16th. Bermuda versus El Salvador. Same place, same time.
What time's the game start again?
7:30.
7:30.
You know what? My bedtime's 9:15, man. When you game up to 6:30?
No. all the game times are coordinated by CONCACAF.
And Rugby, kind of hard to point, man.
They're all coordinated by CONCACAF.
He's just messy if you man. He's just messy, bro. Well, look, Perez, we thank you very much for sharing some information. And yes, we will reach out to your marketing committee, and hopefully they could join us next week, Monday. You can even pass that word. Once I said you're going to go back. You tell our colleague that you're going to go back and talk to him. So we'd like to have him join us next week, Monday. At 12:30.
Absolutely.
All right, on Inside Sports Talk Radio. And we wish Bermuda and the BFA and everyone all the best for next week.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure.
All day, every day.
Never walk alone.
There you go.
There you go.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. I know what that.
We'll have a conversation off the air.
We're going to go to a commercial break and then bring the news up at 1 o'clock, and Calvin Blinkendale will join us thereafter. We'll be back.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to the show. Joining us in the studio right now is Calvin Blankendale, who's no stranger. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
All is well.
All is well.
Last time we spoke, you said the Bermuda Sports Management Group will be bringing in a program in the month of October, and you're just around the corner. The date's October 22nd to the 26th, and it's called the Talent ID Academy Development Camp and Showcase. One gentleman I think you brought here before, the gentleman from, I think is De Klerk, Bob De Klerk. He's originally from Holland.
Yes.
Right. So he's going to be coming back as well. Explain to us what this program entails, what's it all about.
Yes, so we had our first talent ID camp to identify talent and see what the talent pool is on the island by overseas coaches. We were not the first group to have done this, but what makes our program stand out is that instead of just having coaches come once, our coaches return to actually assess. And so you can see the development. And so it's not a one-off event, which most people come and say, you're good, you're bad, you're great, and then they're going.
Right.
And you never heard back from them again. So you don't really have a reference point.
Do our young people understand, like, programs like yourself and others in the art that are putting on these programs, like, this is a great opportunity? Because before it was more so you were scouted by just the schools who came in now and then, or your gym teacher or your school recommended you for overseas. You guys are bringing it here. That's a big opportunity.
I would even say it's the players, it's the parents. So in our environment, what I have noticed over the years that parents will spend more on a uniform, football boots, and maybe a tour overseas, which is good, and sometimes it's great. But in the actual development, they don't recognize it. So I'm saying, if it's like going to school and you're going to spend $1,000 on the uniform, nice players, Clark boots back in the day, your socks and everything, and then you get to school where you need a pencil and eraser and your compass and everything. Oh, we don't have money for that. That's what you actually need money for. Right,
True.
You can get all your messy boots, and the kids have got 2-3 pairs, $250, got the names on the sides, yellow, green, gold, whatever. And then now you got the equipment, but you still have to learn how to play football. So a lot of parents don't see the value in paying a coach and making sure a coach is qualified, or making sure that the programs they put their kids into are actually development programs at whatever level that child is. And at the same time, you cannot learn or develop if you do a one-off. So imagine going to school and you only go to P1.
Yeah.
Or you play football and you only play in under sevens, and you come back 10 years later and try to play Premier football. It has to happen regularly, weekly, daily, monthly, and with the right coaches at the right time. So our program, instead of taking everyone off the island, which is impossible, we're only taking the best players off the island, which is impossible because pricing, availability, time, and all different schools. We bring coaches here who are highly qualified, who are highly skilled, who have the right personality to work with young people. But most importantly, there are coaches that either are looking for players that want an opportunity, or they have a network they can refer players to. That network can be go overseas to a high-quality camp, go to college, go to a semi-pro team, go to a grassroots amateur team and put yourself in the window, or just give feedback to say this is the level that you're at, and if you have the passion and the will set to improve yourself, this is what you need to do. So the first one was held in April, and there was a follow-up in June. Everyone that came back the second time, because some of the individuals came in once, didn't come the second time, everyone that came back the second time got a full report on their level. Mentally, physically, socially, technically, tactically, and where they will be in the next 3 to 4 years. So that was a report card that was given to everyone. So now, as the coaches said, they've seen part of the pool, they haven't seen all the pool. So they're coming back again, and we've been able to get some more dynamic coaches. I'll speak to that. They're coming to look for the additional talent, but also, since this is a full-day camp for players age 8 to 13, they are going to offer now a traditional camp format to actually not just look, but actually work on the deficiencies that they have seen. So the first time they just came to see, you went to the doctor, you got an analysis saying, you know what, you need to change your diet. All right. Next time you go, it looks like you're actually doing pretty good. Now you need to go back next 6 months. Well, you're doing good, but now we're going to get you into a fitness program. And the doctor's going to work with you. So that's what it is. It's just a medical health checkup.
It's a progress. It's a progress report, basically. that's good because you're absolutely right. You're spot on because there have been a number of programs that come to Bermuda in various sports one time,
Right.
and say this is what you need to work on, or this is what you need to do, and you don't hear from them again, and you're paying out buku dollars. In your case, you're saying, let's see what you're doing every 3 to 4 months on the development, so you can go to that stage. That's again a plus. And the cost, I'm just looking at the cost figure, it's very inexpensive. I consider it very expensive considering what you're doing over the course of, I'm going to say 3 times per year, every 4 months, so every quarter, something like that. It's worth the while. What are the numbers like since you've been doing this?
The first one we had I would say 170.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 170. Second time, the second one was unique because it was only a 1-day follow-up, and we still had 100 individuals.
Damn.
So this time for a week-long camp, we're think between 100 and 125. So anyone who attended the last ones, you're able to come back now and get further development program on the situation you are in, your development as you are now. And then anyone that's coming in for the first time, you're being able to be assessed because, as we know, coaches come once and they see half a pool. We know there's a wider pool of talent, but we can't offer this program to 500 people at once. We just don't have the field space, the coaching, and the pricing, and the timing of the coaches as well. Because remember, they're in season right now. So
correct.
The only reason we have these coaches is because Dennis Brown, myself, Brian Martin, and Charlie Russell from overseas in the U.S., and Dennis and I, we built a network of the last 10 years. So it's all about relationships. We can never say that we have the best player on the island in the world that's going to be there, but they trust our judgment and we let them know specifically what the island has and what it doesn't have, and they're willing to come. So Bob de Klerk, who was formerly an under-19 coach at Ajax, I say a former pro at Ajax and at Toronto FC, he's willing to come back again. He has a vast network. He also does work in China, as China is looking to get a World Cup pretty soon.
Right.
And you all know the prices that you get paid in China. I mean, if I was playing in China, I think Tevez gets something like $600,000 or something a week or something that's crazy.
Right.
And then we now have Jason Bucks. So we met Jason Bucks in Maryland for the 4th annual Brazilian football school camp in Maryland. He's a DC United academy coach. That's MLS being Rooney plays for him. He's also the residential coordinator. So what's significant about Jason, he is attached to the Calverton School, and they are a boarding school which is actually directly linked to DC United MLS. So there's one player from Bermuda who's now in the boarding school. He receives training from the DC United coaches. And if you are good enough, you can actually also get invited to their academy. Now, people say, yes, I've heard that before. We had a player that traveled with us to Maryland this summer. The coach looked at him about 6 times and says, before you leave, I'm signing you to the DC United Academy. He was signed, but he had another option as well to go to the UK. So he decided to go to the UK. But if you're good enough, there are teams out there that will sign you to their academy. Right. And he's coming to Bermuda so he can look at more talent.
Okay.
On the academic side, but also on the athletic side. We have Jack Bijsterveld. We met him 10 years ago when we took Brazilian football school to Holland and Germany and England. So he was at Ajax at the time doing the internship. He's coming back. He's the head director for under-9s, under-12s at FC Utrecht, and he's very good with those players in that age group bracket. You know, skill sets are amazing, great personality, and he has already identified 2 players we would like to send to FC Utrecht next summer. We would like to send a few more. Maybe we could send on the 9 team, on the 10 team. It all depends on the talent pool. So it's not about just sending players or teams. You got to have the talent. And then, of course, Brett Merson is the first person who ever helped Brazilian football school with all of our camps and programs. Am I saying that correctly? I believe so. So he's came here recently with the Oakville Blue Devils. He's been here before for the HSBC Color Showcase. He's coming back again. And this is directly for the older boys who don't really like camps because they think they know it all. But you know, anyone above 13, if you want to now find out what it takes to get into the semi-pro environment, if you're 16 and you're looking to get a semi-pro environment, the Oakville Blue Devils came, they took Jakiyu Hill. Jakiyu went, but he ventured back to the UK, so there are opportunities. He's coming back here now to look for talent. And again, even players that are a little bit older, if you're not able to come to the camp, you may have some footage about yourself. You may have a profile. The Oakville Blue Devils are trying to establish themselves as one of the pro teams in the Canadian Professional League. So that's it. That's going to be the Canadian MLS.
Gotcha.
That will start, I think, in 2019, maybe 2020. They're now doing their fundraising, or not fundraising, capital funding to be part of that league.
Right.
But again, there are Bermudians that now could be able to play professionally
In Canada.
and
That's cool.
be similar to the MLS.
Okay.
So there's opportunities. You have to put yourself in front of the coaches. You may be 15, 16. 3 years from now, you may be ready. He may remember you.
Yeah.
You need to now find out which camps they have. Can I come to your summer camp? Do you have networks? I'm going to school in Canada. Can you come and look at me?
True.
Right? And then groundbreaking, because this is not just a Bermuda sports management. It's always been Brazilian football school. On the football side, which is no brainer, about Bermuda Sports Management Group, a company that I manage trying to get student athletes into school. We have more than football. Everyone always says, why is there football? Why is always cricket? Why is always track and field? So now we are breaking ground as an original football organization. We are bringing in a volleyball coach from Holland College. We already have a young lady there playing football, Jade Stewart, national team player, and she was voted player of the week in our first weekend of matches for the school, scored 2 goals. So now we're bringing in a volleyball coach. And does Cal Blankendown know volleyball? No. Dennis Brown? No. So we're working with the Bermuda Volleyball Association. She will go to a camp they're hosting for kids in that week, the October 22nd to the 26th. And then she will also be going to the national teams training for the male and females. And they're actually looking to give scholarships to Bermudian high school students or those who have recently graduated to attend their school for academics. It's a junior college in Canada, Prince Edward Island, but through volleyball. So as we grow, it's not just football, volleyball. Maybe next time we bring a basketball coach. But everyone we bring, they have to be willing to offer our players or our student athletes something. We're not just bringing people to teach, which is great. But in Bermuda, we need to get off the island to learn. And we need to stay off the island for a period of time to develop and grow. And maybe you never come back. That means you're great like in the Key Wells, but you represent Bermuda. Or maybe you get an experience and you come back and you're a better person in life and you add something to your club or your community.
Wow. With that said, that's a lot what you said, and I get it. You got another program coming again this fall? Is this the last one?
No, this is this here, and then in February, and I definitely need to talk to Earl and Mr. Rollins because it's trying to do something groundbreaking outside the box, and I think you guys can definitely be a part of that. We'll do something again in February. It may be more geared towards adults in management and administration, but also always have some youth element involved with that. But this will be continued. So October, we'll probably do something again in April. We're trying to remain consistent.
Which is the key.
Yeah, because, kids need to know, well, there's a quote, development is continuous. So like I said before, you're great. And what happened to this kid 3 years ago? Well, you told him he was great, but you never taught him anything after that. So what we're trying to do is give everyone the opportunity to learn and grow. The only thing we ask for the players and the parents is to be consistent. And the price, you talked about price, is $250, which, again, you can go overseas to a camp for 5-6 days. It's going to cost you $2,500 by the time you get for the course. Or you can get a quality 5-day camp with coaches you probably wouldn't even get overseas in the U.S. Right? Wow. Because Bob's a UEFA Pro coach, so he can actually coach Manchester United, Real Madrid, Ajax. Jason is a DC United Academy coach. You got a top UEFA B coach who's the head of the U9, U12 at a pro club in Holland, FC Utrecht, top 5 team. Brett Merson is a USSFA and Canadian A license coach, so you can't get any higher in Canada or the US. And then we have Laurie Beth Dwyer, who's the head coach of women's volleyball at Holland College in Canada. So, what more do you want?
That's true. That's true.
You already got Dennis Brown, Cal Blankendown. So what more do you want?
How do you find the time, Cal, to do all this recruiting and set up these programs? Because you're going nonstop. And it's not an easy task, but when you're behind the scenes putting on something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. You paused thinking about that.
I'll say, everyone always says, why are you on your phone? Well, that's the only way I can talk to people.
All right.
And head down means I don't have to call them because, not everyone's on social media, WhatsApp, or any other means. So you actually have to communicate with people. So you have to call everybody. It's costly. But, I'm on my phone with my head down because I'm looking for emails or I'm sending emails. I'm not playing games. So when you see me in town or even at a coffee shop sitting on, you always say, he's always on his phone. I'm doing business. And the business is getting people to come to Bermuda or trying to find opportunities for young people in education, sports, or life in general. That's what it is. And that's how I do it. So, that 5 minutes on my phone, that opens up opportunity for the next 5 years for Bermuda. And that's all it is. You need to talk to about 25 to 30 people to get 5 people to come. Because first of all, people want to come, then it's the timing, then sometimes it's their fees, then sometimes it's are they eligible to come, because not every college or every jurisdiction allows the coaches to travel or the program.
True.
And then by the time that happens, is it the right time for them? And then do they want to come? Because then they find out, oh, it's not professional. Okay, it's grassroots. Okay, I don't really think that's for me. And then life happens. Like, oh, I wanted to come, but now I've had people say they want to come, and all of a sudden there's an organization in Jamaica, which is larger than Bermuda, and say we're going to pay him $10,000. There's one person, $10,000. So if you're an entrepreneur like I am, a coach says, well, I'll come to Bermuda, we're going to give you X, Y, Z, but the Jamaican FA is going to pay me $10,000. You go to Jamaica, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
makes
you know,
sense.
as much as it's development in sports, you have to run it as a business. Otherwise, if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to do it as continuous. I think that's where other programs probably die out a little bit. You can go to it for passion and love, which is the key, but you have to look at the numbers.
Yeah, and that's the selling point.
You have
The
to look
numbers.
at the numbers.
And once numbers do, then you can see, I'm going to take it to this level, that level. This is pretty interesting what you're putting on. And again, this can be at the National Sports Center South Field. It gets underway for the under 8s, under 13, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., the under 15, the under 17, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Just a cost difference. The under 13s is $250, and the under 17s is $225. Is it because of the hours?
Yeah, it's because the hours, it's less hours. And also, as we know, we have to look at our cultural base. Our young men and young women, once they go past 13, 14, they do not like to be confined during their school breaks for the entire day. So culturally, we can say you have to be there from 9 to 3, but we know that after 12 noon, they're looking to venture and do teenage activities, go to the movies. And so you have to, one thing Bob the clerk told me is that I can come here and teach you everything about Holland, but I have to fit into Bermuda's culture. So no matter what each coach wants to bring or brings to the island, it has to fit into Bermuda's culture. So we can have a German coach, and the Germans are all about precision, Mercedes-Benz and BMW and everything that. You put that in Bermuda, it may work for 1 or 2 weeks, but culturally, we're not really there mentally. So it has to be gradual. So you have to give people information, take it away from them, let them go away, come back. And that's why we couldn't do this for like a month, but you can do this for a week, and people can think about it and practice at the clubs and see the deficiencies and what's good, and then come back and ask for more. Because that's our culture. We're not going to be, I can tell you, I go to the States and you tell the kids to run in 90-degree rally, they say, how many laps, coaches? And you say 10, they say, I want to do 1 more. You do that in Bermuda, the first thing the players are going to say, it's hot.
Real hot.
Right? Now, also taking on information, and you have to be honest, you talk to Bermudian kids, after 5 minutes, they're looking around. You talk to kids in the States, after 15 minutes, they're looking around. Now, we've talked to some Asian kids, and they can sit there for an hour, and they're just taking information in. So culture plays a lot in the way we learn. So we're not saying we're wrong. We have to see how we learn. So a Bermudian player learns practical. So if you put a Bermudian player in a classroom with all these different drawings, right now, that's not the way we learn. So we have to introduce it piece by piece. You put an American, but you put an Asian kid, and I'm just generalizing, but that's their culture. You put them in front of a screen, and you're sharing tactics. That's how they learn. But we're a very hands-on group of people, so we have to make it hands-on and then go back and just relax for a little while, because too much information is actually a negative as well.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely right. One thing I didn't ask, and I think you did touch on it, but just want to make sure. How do you coordinate the academics with the sporting life?
Well, first of all, foremost, this is always based on students. Everyone should be in school. Then student athlete, because if you're playing any type of sport, you're automatically a student athlete. And once you're in school, you should be aiming for the highest possible grades. And then if you're an athlete, you should be willing to perform at the highest level. And if you have those 2 things, then you should be looking forward to going into further education. And then further education is either having the qualification to enter, and it's networking. So you can have all the grades, all the skill set. If a coach doesn't know how to find you, it's never hired for you, or you don't know how to contact someone, that's where you normally find, oh, I should have, could have, would have, but it didn't happen. So that's where Dennis and I bring that last piece where you train, you have your school work in place, you want to go, your parents are supportive of you, and then we try to figure out what you're missing and bring that to the table and get you there. Not everyone needs our support, but some people, and if you do, that's what we do.
I got it. I understand. Is there anything you'd like to add, sir, before we wrap up?
Yes, we just like to add, you can register through BermudaSMG.com. So that's Bermuda spelled out in full, the letter S, the letter M, the letter G.com. Go to the events tab, click on the flyer. It will take you to a comprehensive registration site. It will ask you a lot of questions, but that's important for us to make sure you sign the waivers and that we know more about you. And then, come in and participate in this, another Talent ID Academy camp. Anyone that have attended before, they're willing to come back. And anyone that hasn't attended before and wishes to come, you're invited as well. We are going to be honest. If it's your first time playing football or your second year and you're not sure, this probably won't be the camp for you because it's going to be a little bit high level. But you don't have to be elite. You just have to have a decent understanding of the game. And if someone does show up and we find out, okay, it's not for them, we always know how to adjust the sessions or the group settings for them. And take advantage of what's on the island. When you come, it shows us that you're interested. The coaches are excited when they see a lot of players, and then they want to come back again. And like I said, as we grow, we want to do more and more in other sports as well. So if you say, hey, Cal, hey, Dennis, what about golf? What about basketball? What about track and field? We will definitely develop this Talent ID Academy showcase.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you got everything in place, and it's a good idea what you're putting forth. And of course, I'm glad that you came here and to share this valuable information for Bermuda. Is registration, is there a deadline? Did we discuss that?
There's not really a deadline, but we want to have it done as soon as possible because once we hit the numbers, then one day you're going to go there and it's going to be closed.
Yeah.
The earlier we can prepare, the better it is for everyone. So as soon as we hit our target, the site will be done.
So you're on target now for
right now. We're on target to see what the numbers would be by, let's say, October the 19th. That still gives us 3 or 4 days because everything's already there. We just want to make sure we close it out with the number per coach. But if we hit the targets earlier, then we'll close it. And if we don't hit the target, we're still going to close it because it's not going to be a walk-in on the last day. That's very unprofessional to tell coaches you're going to have 2 or more, 3 more kids joining you at 9:30, 10 o'clock. We want to be professional to professional coaches so that when they leave Bermuda, they go back and tell everyone how organized we are, the talent pool on the island, and then we have to find more coaches because the same coaches are not going to come all the time. They have to be able to recommend us and the players that Bermuda is a place worthwhile visiting. They take care of you, they accommodate you. The natural beauty is always an attraction, and then the talent pool. And one thing they do enjoy, and everyone in Bermuda doesn't know that, when a coach comes there and they say, I'm from Ajax or FC Utrecht, they love that people actually know about football. Not every island they go to, there's like a football culture. There's cricket, there's baseball. They say, wow, the people in Bermuda, they really love football. And everyone teaches them good. And, and they go to the marketplace. I saw you earlier and everybody gives them, a high five and all that. So they enjoy that. So the hospitality that we as Bermudians show anyone on the island, but specifically those in the athletic arena, it's very, very much appreciated.
Cool.
I do want to say thank you to Mr. Dennis Brown from Supreme Transportation Limited, who is a co-sponsor of the event. Then we have Mr. Treadwell Kirk Butterfield of GVO, who started a new clothing line in Bermuda. He's giving some compensation to some players that are unable to afford the full fees. And then the whole Brazilian Football School, Bermuda Sports Management Group for making it happen. And that the National Sports Center, thanks to them, the BFA and all the affiliates who send the players, and all the schools that actually allow us to send information to their secretaries who then send it out to the parents as well. So if you haven't heard from it, go to your school, go to the BFA, the information's there, go to the website, and otherwise you can always contact Kyle Blankendow through BermudaSMG.com.
Cool. Got it. All right. Is there anything else you want to add, Boo? You straight?
No, when the coaches arrive, I would like to bring the volleyball coach and Jason Bucks, definitely, that haven't spoken to you on Earth the first time here. I'd like for them to come so they can speak about the MLS Youth Academy, because everyone wants to go to Europe, but Canada and the US is closer.
Right.
The culture is closer. Outside the UK, you're speaking English. And then also for parents, if your child goes overseas, you're closer. You can actually see their game, see the development. They can come back for holidays, which sometimes we forget. A young child, we send them away and then they don't really come back that often because, price and distance.
Right.
And then also we want to bring the volleyball coach in so she can talk about the college piece, but also let's get into other areas of sports. There's more than football and cricket on the island and track and field.
For sure.
So someone that has a talent in sailing or lacrosse, I don't care if you're the only person, let's find your way. Let's help you to get where you are. So even though Dennis and I are about football, if we can help any individual to get ahead in life, you're living on the island, you're definitely Bermudian. That's what we all need to do in Bermuda. So people come and ask me questions, I don't have the answers, but I'll find somebody that can help you. That simple as that. So when I have my head on with my friend, I'm working.
You're working. You're working.
You can always interrupt me, but I am working.
That's your contacts.
That's my contacts.
All right, bro. Well, thank you very much for joining us, man. It's always a pleasure. And yes, you can bring back your coaches on the next show when you want to have time and discuss more with them in person and see what they're all about. And it's interesting. You're doing a good thing. Like I said earlier in the show, that you're bringing something back where you're not just bringing the one-time coaches here and then you don't hear from them again. You're bringing them back to say, let me see the progress report, where you guys are, where you need to go, and what's the chances of going off to adventure to whatever schools or academy programs overseas that will work for our young people.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is that just for a player or even a coach, a child that comes into this program for a week, that's 30 hours of training. So if you look at it, most players in Bermuda or teams will train twice a week.
That's
So
true.
twice a week for 2 hours, that's 4 hours. They'll play a game on a Saturday, that's 5.5 probably. That's 5.5 hours in 1 week. So this is going to take you a month and a half to get to 30 hours of training if you don't miss a training session in the game.
Right.
So now the young kids are going to get 6 hours a day. The older kids are going to get 3 hours a day. So what's that? 5 3s is 15. What's that? 6 6s 5 6 5 6 is 30.
Yeah.
So you get a month and a half training in a week. Right?
Dang. Yeah,
so
that's good.
If you look at it,
That's
the
real
more
good.
you repeat something, the more the kids will remember it. So when they come to training, coaches say sometimes, "Oh, wow, he's improved a lot." No, he's not really improved. He's just been doing the same thing over and over continuously. Is now second nature. He doesn't have to think about it. She doesn't have to think about it.
Comes normal.
Right? So that's normal. That's all it is. So the more we train, the better we will get. But again, culturally, we have to have a balance. And if we all adapt to change over time, we will get there.
Okay. And it does take time. It's not overnight. It's not overnight. And like you said, it's a repeat process. You just have to continue how you broke it down. What you could do in 1 week, it takes us a month. And you can develop that in 1 week. That tells you how much football is practice is required to make it to that level. Well done, mate.
Thank you, sir.
No worries. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio
Yeah,
is being presented to you by
I have a
Windows
concept.
Company,
All right.
Small Group
I'll
International,
call- hey,
Global Atlantic Financial Group. with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. As we said at the top of the hour, about 12:15 of the show, we said that Tariq Smith will be joining us in the studio. He lost his bet to Earl Basin in netball this past Saturday night. He's washed the clothes.
We ain't sure because he ain't here.
Forgive me.
He's not here.
He's not here.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Reneging on his promise.
On his promise, but
he was the one who said, "I'll come and I owe you an apology. I owe you this. I owe you that."
It's got 21 minutes. And if he ain't here in 21 minutes,
it's already on blast, man. It's already on blast, man. The blast went out Saturday night, and it's gonna continue until. Okay. It's probably celebrating Patrick got over here.
That's probably what it is. But he's probably washed their clothes and then washed yours.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we got the president of the Bermuda Netball Association on the phone, who was there, who witnessed all the action Saturday night. Good afternoon, Kamal. How are you? Just give us an update. What happened? Because Earl explained it to me. And he was thorough. He was spot on. I just want to hear from your perspective. As you know, this bet took place last week here on Inside Sports Talk Radio, and Earl won. Congratulations to Earl. Explain to us what happened.
Well, they were one of their teams, and it was completely hilarious. Mind you, I was actually waiting for them to be pitted against each other, but they never were. In a little bit of defense for Tariq, he was up against Chris Compton, who is an amazing basketball player, and it was not for lack of trying. He tried really, really, really hard for his team to try and get the ball, but he just unfortunately wasn't able to do that. And I'm sure, lapping it up and loving it, every single minute of it. There was some competitiveness between the two teams. I would say more so probably when Chris Compton was off the court, because he was playing go shooter and was doing amazing. The only thing that was missing was them being pitted against each other.
With that said, my colleague Mr. Basin is still in stitches. His lost words. His cracking up. Right?
Well, I was planning to go down and visit Tariq, but then I said he looks like he's having so much fun with Chris. I'll leave that alone.
Because nobody enjoyed losing, and he kept trying to, cheer his teammates on. Come on, guys, let's get this together. But I must say that when I went to collect those items, and Mr. Basin, I do have your personal item that was washed, and it smelled fabulous. That he was very humble and saying, "Here you go. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was great." And he's willing to come on and join us next year. So, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for netball, and it's a great thing for the community.
Tell him don't run his mouth next time.
I'm sure he will. He'll probably put more on the line this time.
Well, he'll need more than his Jordan shoes, because we brought Jordan himself.
I'm sure that Mr. Smith may have something up his sleeve. But for him to come out and say that he's looking forward to next year, I think he's got a little trick up his sleeve.
He can have all the tricks he wants. It's not going to beat me.
I must commend Mr. Basin because Earl was so great this year. I think you've been training. You had to have been training for this. It was some sort of hot in there, and Earl was sweating profusely before he even started. It was so hot in there, but he pushed through, and he done a really great job as well.
Well, I keep telling Mr. Basin he can do this, right? He keeps using these excuses because of his injuries, and I respect that. But I'm telling him he can do this.
I'm already
your report. You're telling me he's on point.
I'm already warned the braid. Make sure there's videos of the early stuff, and there's pictures that are not to be shared.
I've already seen on YouTube when I was in New York.
No.
I saw it Sunday.
No. I told her. I remember I have a camera too.
Right.
That's what I read over. I said, listen, don't forget, I have a camera too. So you do what you want. Just remember.
YouTube.
Bray was our social media person, and she had some really great shots and footage of the event that we'll be posting onto our Facebook page. And Earl took delight in saying, "No, listen, I'll get you back, I'll get you back. So that means that if the Days are going to be down in the netball courts come the 30th of this month to get his, payback. And when you see the Blade posted all over Island Specs all the time, it's going to be his payback tour.
And tell her it's not gonna be how she wants it.
Oh, oh. What's it called? When you do the picture, it's called you fix
Photoshop?
Photoshop.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
Photoshop it, huh?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Overall, were you pleased with the attendance, Ms. Evans, and also the funds that were raised for that night?
Yes, we were extremely pleased. This event is gaining some momentum, and it's something that is going to be a go forward on our calendar of events. I feel that it brings out the best of the competitiveness in everyone that participates in it, and also the love of the sport of netball. The spectators loved it. I felt that the celebrities put on an amazing show and entertained them. We were truly grateful to our sponsors who, we had some really great raffles that we raffled off during the intermissions. And it's just really coming together and gaining, like I said, gaining momentum in order for us to continue to build. And it will definitely be a boost for our national program.
Well, I'm glad to help because I had a lot of fun.
And as you know, we had this pre-interview last week, and Rodigon said he will join you next year.
I'm putting his invite together as we speak. I'll give him a whole year for it.
Okay, then. Well, we look forward to having you on board again to give us more information, more updates on the program for next year, and continue the hard work and the sacrifice that your team is doing, the administrative team for the Bermuda Netball Association, as you guys strive forward.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate your support. Without you guys, I don't think that we would be able to get as much media coverage out there, and that goes for both of you, both you, Ian, and you, Earl, I should say Paul 95 and Earl and Island Specs. We're very grateful for your continued support.
Not a problem. So one day we'll have you on doing some sports with us, like maybe playing cricket or something like that, huh?
Hey, I'm an athlete, so I think I can probably do pretty good.
Earl said you can't beat him. That's what Earl just
I
said.
did not say that.
Earl just said you can't beat him.
Say that. And you know me well enough to know if I say something, I stand behind it. So I haven't said it yet.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Earl.
Didn't play cricket, in a league because it was predominantly for men when I was coming up. But I definitely played out in the backyard with all my cousins and the gentlemen that I grew up with in my neighborhood. So.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure you do well because you do come from a sporting background and your family is very sports oriented. So I'm sure you would do very well.
Brother.
Yeah, I understand. If you want battle tips, you can always go red and blue.
Negative. That would be Charles Strott Jr. St. George's all the way. You know what I'm talking about, Earl.
Yes, indeed. Don't pay attention to Mr. Rollins. He's very confused right now. Very.
I'm confused. Okay. I can say enough. I'm surrounded by St. George's people. Earl Basin, Don Bassett, and yourself. 3 of you. It's all good. That's all
I feel
good.
like your walls are closing in on you.
No, not at all. Nah. Pardon the sea.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Thank you very much, Ms. Evans. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. We're going to take a commercial break. And Tariq Smith, if you're out there, you can always give us a call at 292-9595.
Don't call, mate. Don't call.
Oh, also don't call.
Don't call, mate.
Sorry, Tariq. Don't call. Don't call.
You're supposed to come. You told me you was coming, but you didn't come.
It's got some excuse. You know that, right?
Excuses are for his Jordan sneakers.
Oh,
flat tire.
Flat tire.
Come on, start.
Yeah.
You need to wash the sneakers, you think?
Call Mike Watson, borrow a horse, get on your horse, and come up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you get a different part of horsepower.
Let's take a commercial break and we'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio has been.
That's all it.
Based
Uh,
This segment of Health and Fitness is presented to you by Fit for Life with Dave Wolf.
and welcome back to Inside Sports. We have our good friend, Mr. Dave Wolf, one of the finest man in Bermuda, healthiest man in Bermuda. He just kicks it on, just keeps going, healthy, on the road, off the road, in the gym, out the gym. The man's got it all. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Ian, and fellow host there. You're putting a lot of pressure on me, Ian. That's a lot of pressure, you know.
No, it's a fact, bro.
I like to think I respond without the pressure, but you're putting a lot of extra pressure on me there, bro.
Look, Dave. You can handle pressure. You do it well, and that's through your fitness, and you deliver. And I'm not trying to big you up in a way that to put pressure on you. I'm being honest and sincere.
Well, I'm gonna say this, dude.
Sure.
I'm gonna say this, dude. You've been missing for a few weeks, so I know you're going to do some secret high-tech training, studying this and studying that. I know how you have to do it every once in a while. You have to go underground to then work and then come back out and show people what you've mastered.
You guys need to have a routine where you use how these type of scenarios work, these partnerships. There's usually good cup, bad cup. You both can't be bad cup.
Well, I'm working on the fact that I mean I've been missing you for the last
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So health talk and fitness talk, and when you don't get it on a regular basis, you start falling backwards.
Well, I appreciate the accolades and the affirmations. I've been busy, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I haven't been able to be on the radio station. I've missed you guys and miss kind of talking about my passion, what I love. I've been very busy, working with a company that's been good to me, Argus Insurance. Hope they're listening. Shout out to Argus. And we've been promoting and pushing corporate wellness. So it's been occupying me, keeping me on my toes. So just still doing my thing, very much engaged in what I love to do. So
Cool.
And how has that been working out? Because I remember you said a couple of months ago you were working with them, getting ready to go in and do some stuff with them. How has that been working out?
It's been good, phenomenally well. Like I'm always very blessed. And then I said it before, very thankful when anybody, any organization, any company, any group, any team ask you to, assist them in reaching their goals. I take that very seriously. So Argus has been good to me because they've supported me, and they're doing a corporate initiative which is trying to, encourage their staff to, in some cases get healthier, to get moving, and they do it together. So it's nice because the dynamic is that you have CFOs who are working with, clerical staff, and then you have, managers who are working with people who are a little bit lower down on the ladder, so to speak. But it's nice. It's good energy. It's good enthusiasm. It's good numbers, and it's really, really good, man. It's really, really good.
How many times a week are you working with them?
Good question. So they fully committed. They fully committed to a 6 weeks corporate initiative. It's 9 sessions a week, which is a lot when you think about it. So every Monday, I'm there with Argus staff, about 65 staff, give or take, 3 times a day. And then we come back again on Tuesday, and we do it again for 3 times a day. And then we come back again on Thursday, and then we hit them again. So that's a total of 9 sessions a week, which shows their sincere commitment to their staff. They're paying for a trainer to come in and to literally, just get them moving, which has been great.
And that's good because it helps those who work in the industry and in the business world who don't like to go to the gym or can't find time, and you've come to them and you've given them a program. So that's I'm just doing the math. That's 54 sessions in 6 weeks. I'm sure you've seen results, and it's paying off because you've done this earlier during the summer with August, and they've actually come back. So that's a positive for you.
Well, it's good because it didn't happen by accident. I mean, this is a service that, Fit for Life and, myself, I wanted to provide. I actually believe very sincerely that this is the next wave, if you will, for lack of a better word, of fitness. This is how it's going to evolve. It's going to be corporate or companies taking the initiatives. And it's not even just fitness, because fitness to me is one aspect of it. And you guys know how I feel about this. It's like holistic. So it's team building, it's cohesion, it's unity, it's breaking down silos. All these things happen when you work out with your colleagues or with your team. It's just a different dynamic. All right. So they've committed to doing this quarterly. So you're right. We did it in January. We'll come back again in September. We'll do it again in January and then in June, and we'll keep it going. So every quarter we'll have these company corporate initiatives, and it's really great. It's just because again, it's one thing to work out. So Earl works on his own, he might do his own thing, and Ian does his own thing, but it's a different dynamic when a company or group come together. There's a lot of benefit that can be held from that outside of just fitness.
You're so right about that.
The good thing about Argus is the fact that they're an insurance company that wants people to live healthy lives, and doing it through their staff kind of helps them to send a message out to their clients that, you know, we're willing to work with our staff, but we want you to work with your groups as well to make sure that your healthcare cost comes down, you live a healthier life, you're in better shape, you know, all that type of stuff. And they're doing it from within to express outside. So I think it's a good thing.
You hit the nail on the forever head. I think that's exactly why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it because they need to be seen in the community and from the front leading the way. So how can they go to a client company and say various things that they're not doing it? So, you know, obviously Argus has been doing this for a long time. They've been very integrated in the community with a whole bunch of initiatives that they currently do. I mean, they're all over the calendar when it comes to, you know, encouraging people to do certain things. This is just one more thing that they're doing, right? So, absolutely right. They're leading from the front in more ways than one.
I know Christmas is just around the corner, and I mean just around the corner because the other day it was May 24th, and it was Cup match, and today is October 4th, right? What sort of advice do you give the Argus clients, perfect example, as you lead up to Christmas, and the clients that you have at your gym and personal trainers and even the classes? What sort of advice do you give them as you prepare for the Christmas festivities?
I mean, you know, like I said before, and I think I maybe repeating myself in some respects, you know, obviously leading up into these festive periods, whether it be Christmas or before an extended vacation or for a trip, you just need to be smart. You know, you just need to be smart about it. I've always maintained that it's never the indulgence that hurts people. I actually believe in a certain level of indulgence. It's usually the overindulgence, you know what I mean? So if you have 1 or 2 days where you've indulged, then you need to get back to your regular scheduled program. You know, you need to keep in mind that whatever classes or groups that you were doing, you keep them on the schedule. You know, you keep yourself moving so that way there's not too much damage done. What I find happens to people, a couple of things usually happen around festive period. There's an extended break, there is an overindulgence, and then the mindset changes. So when your mind is not tuned in to a program or to a routine, now you double down on so now you're not been good. You've overindulged, and then you're off your routine. Your mind is not there. So then it takes a while for a person to get reprogrammed. So usually it starts in the mind. So I'm switched on. I'm going to be doing these things. I'm going to be doing these classes, and then you're more likely to sort of manage your life in accordance with that. So that would be my advice as we head into the end of the year, into the festive periods, is as much as possible try to stay on some type of routine so that you don't do too much damage.
And you're absolutely right. I just want to let our listeners know, and then your listeners as well, that Dave has opened up another class on Saturdays. He had the class that I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 6 a.m., and he has it on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. and Thursdays 1 p.m., and then again in the evening on Tuesday, Thursdays at 6:15. With that said, Dave has opened it up on Saturdays at 10:15, if I'm correct, Dave?
There's another class at 10:15. As a matter of fact, the website, which we've been working on for about 6 months, is finally finished, and I'm about to unveil some additional classes, not just conditioning classes, which is obviously what you do, Ian, which is involving moving, but some other fun type of classes. You know, one of the things I believe in is what we call functional movement. You know, it's basically taking fundamental, regular life movements and putting into a workout. So I've got a couple functional movement classes coming up, another stretch and release class, which is obviously equally important. And just try to add a bit more diversity and a bit more holistic training to my current facility. So stay tuned for some updates. Look out for the website and certainly take part.
All right. That's good stuff. I look forward. I will join you tomorrow. I've been away, so I'm back.
But that's okay.
Yeah. A couple of guys, you know, we are up to see NFL game on Sunday, see the Giants, and it was a good experience. But I'll be back, and I'll be there tomorrow morning, and probably crying by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning after everything is done. But I'll be on a natural high. I'll be on a natural high. That's how I feel when I work out, Dave. I feel good about it, mate. Not a problem.
For the support, guys.
All right.
Take
care. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you in the next series of Inside Sports Talk Radio.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Have a good day. Cheers.
Cheers. We'll take our last commercial break and be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio has been Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
Well, time flies and you're having fun. It's good to have Dave back on Inside Sports Talk Radio. He's a guy that takes his fitness seriously and his health seriously, so it's good. And he has the encouragement and he gives the good advice. And like we said, Christmas coming up. Don't overindulge. Just eat smart. Just eat with common sense.
Yeah.
Drink with common sense, and that's what we take. And he's right about that. The mind, it's all about the mind. Once the mind goes off, they can say, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. And then one thing leads to another. But it's a challenge within yourself.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how you want.
Right, and you said, you just have to get back to your regular routine.
Yeah.
If you continue to train, okay, if you overindulge today, you don't overindulge tomorrow, but you get back into the gym the next day.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah. It's like if you go 5 or 6 days overindulging.
Right. Starting up again is one of the hardest things.
It is. And so it's natural, but it's a challenge within yourself, and it's all up to you what you want.
Yeah.
Get back in the program. Well, that's all the time we have for today on Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Thursday. We'll be back on Monday, our normal program. So we'll be back on the 8th of October. And upcoming events, we've got the Bermuda Lawn Tennis International Youth Tournament that's going to be held on the 15th to the 20th of October. They're having some guests join us in the studio next week, Monday, and I'm sure we'll have other guests. And of course, Bermuda's national youth senior team playing in the tournament against, who's they playing on the 12th?
St. Martin.
St. Martin, that's right. I'm sorry. St. Martin on the 12th. At the National Sports Center at 7:30. Hopefully we have some representatives join us next week, Monday, and give us some more insight from the marketing side.
Sure.
Yeah. Don Bassett.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the rest of your day, bro.
Yeah, man.
All
That's all good.
It's all good.
Everybody straight?
Yes, indeed.
Early, okay?
I'm hanging in.
All right. Take care, guys.
Brought to you by